Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Elevate Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Eliana. So today's inspiration comes from a realization I had actually recently, and it was so empowering to take that weight off of my back. And it made me feel lighter, made me feel more ignited, and show up with just that much more enthusiasm and peace and presence, like all of the things. So I want to share it with you because one thing I learned a long time ago is that if you're feeling it, someone else is likely feeling it because we're all human. That is our common ground. We're all human. And as a human, we all feel the range of emotions. Like no one escapes feeling anything. We all feel the things. So that's that's actually what gave me my initial dose of my awakening. Like, wait a second, we're all more alike than we are different. Yes, we have our nuances that make us unique, but that uniqueness doesn't mean anything other than you have certain gifts and I have other gifts, and together we are all amazing and unique. But there's nothing that actually separates us or makes us different than one another. So, what I came to the realization of was that it's talked about many times where, if you see something that resonates with you or that it inspires you, then it's meant for you. And while this may be true, when you are around people, places, that inspire you, that you're exposed to, whether it's a conference and it inspires you, whether you work with a coach and they inspired you, whether you write a book and it inspired you, you're listening to this podcast and it's inspiring you, and it resonates with you enough to say, hey, I want to do that. Or it creates this vision of, I can do that too, which is phenomenal. That is our momentum, that kickstart. However, where it can get a little tricky is when we box ourselves in to wanting to replicate that vision. And where we sometimes go wrong with this, and I've done this so I can share from my own experience, is that we then forget to include within that vision, okay, what is actually meant for us on our way. Perhaps being exposed to that thing was the initiation for you to get yourself into action, right? To do something aligned on that path, but that actual thing isn't what is meant for you. And it can be almost paralyzing, if you will, because if you're noticing that you're on that path and doing that thing, right, but it's not panning out in the way that you saw it, right, with that other person or that other encounter you experienced, it can actually start to diminish your confidence inside because it's not turning out the way that you wanted it to. All the while, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to get you into action, but you along the way could get to discover what your unique vision is, right? Based on your gifts, your talents, and the way that you are meant to show up and create something in this world. And it doesn't have to be done before. It doesn't have to, be just like everybody else's. No, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be different. Meant to be special and completely new. And so many times I find that we get stuck looking at other people's big, beautiful businesses, brands, family life, whatever they have going on, and comparing where we're at to where we think we're supposed to be because it resonates with us. When all the while, great, it's good that it resonates. Wonderful. It's meant to inspire you, because if it's meant to inspire, that means it's meant for you, but for you in the way that you are going to uniquely create it yourself. Okay. It's just like when you're creating a recipe in the kitchen and you're trying to recreate someone else's recipe because it inspired you. I do that all the time. I love creating new recipes and mixing things up. However, it's always going to come out a little different every time. It's not going to be exactly the same because I am unique to the spices I use, to, to my stove that I use, to my utensils, my tools, all the different variables, just like us in our lives. And if that's you and you're feeling down because your business isn't where you want it to be, because let's say you're in real estate and you're watching other team leaders or your mentors crush it and your business is not there, that means nothing about you. That means they're doing what they're supposed to do, putting that fire in you so you can then go and create and unfold your path the way it's meant for you. Let's say you're viewing somebody's family life because you want that lifestyle as the mother you want to be and the wife you want to be, but it's not happening. Stop beating yourself up. Take control over what you have control over. And that is how you show up right now in this moment, right? And into this evening, right? And you get opportunities all the time to show up, but we stop ourselves short because we're comparing ourselves constantly. So I invite you to detach yourself from those other people's lives and their things that they've created, and to step back into your own shoes, into what you are going to create. Let them inspire you, but be driven to create something of your own. And a very good friend of mine, we talk about this all the time in our conversations. It's one foot in front of the other. You do not need to overwhelm yourself and what something is going to look like or be like. It is simply, what are you doing today? Who are you serving? How are you helping? Going to sleep with that gratitude and waking up and doing it again. And everything will start to unfold one after the other after the other. And before you even know it, you are now living in your own dream. Okay? The very dream that you saw somebody else live, now you are living in your own version of that. But it comes with detaching yourself first from someone else's vision that they've created and recognizing you have your own vision to go out and live. And it's going to be unique and look completely different, right? Because you are different than that other person. You have different gifts than they do. And we don't need another copy of those people. We need you to start showing up in the way that you were designed to be. And I hope that gives you the encouragement that you needed to let go of what it is that you've been so tightly gripping onto, that it's actually riddening you of showing up the way that you need to in your life, in your business, in your family, in your relationships. And I guarantee the moment you start to ignite that vision within you and recognize that you have everything that you need, there's nothing outside of you, everything is going to start to fall into place. 100%. I've seen it happen, like I said in the very beginning. I've seen it happen where I feel lighter, I feel more enthusiastic, I feel like I'm on more fire because I'm not trying to recreate something anymore. I'm creating as I go. And that is so empowering. And it's exciting because it leaves room for spontaneousness. You're not following anything other than your own intuition, where God is leading you, where He is directing you. And that is the best leadership to be under, because you're serving Him at the end of the day. You're serving the purpose He created you for, and you're living out that purpose. But if you're living out for someone else's dream, for someone else's purpose, it's actually not going to work. It's not. You're going to be met with a ton of resistance. So I hope this message was encouraging for you. I hope that you feel the empowerment that you can be inspired by places you go, people you interact with, people you follow on social media, but be wary of how much you're attaching your vision and your dream and your aspirations to what they're doing. Let it inspire you, but be inspired by your own ability to create your own path and watch that path unfold. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm sending you so much love. I'm really enjoying actually these mini episodes where I just get to pour my heart into you. I'm sitting really cozy on my Zen Den floor. I have my office, I call it the Zen Den, okay? Because I'm big into language and the words that we use. So I like to create my office to be a creative space and a space of where I just can feel relaxed as well. So we've switched things up a little bit so I can come to you from that more relaxed state, and I love it. I really do. So with that, I hope you have an amazing day. Check out our newsletter that we have. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that in the show notes below. Essentially, you get a weekly tip from me on what it is that I've been reflecting on lately, and you get to ponder on that during your week. You get updates on all things we have going on with the podcast, different guests we have coming on the show, some of their incredible workshops, programs, and things they've got going on, and favorite finds, things that I come across that make my life easier, and I know would make your life easier as well. So have an incredible day, and I can't wait to chat with you again next week.